Hi, I'm Wes, the Explosion. This is the Backlog, and this week we're going back to basics a bit because this is unscripted. I am just doing it off the cuff because I didn't quite have enough time to script this. Anyway, this week I picked up Pokémon Shining Pearl for the Nintendo Switch. They're the new remakes of the Gen 4 games, Diamond and Pearl, but not Platinum. So anyway, it's your basic Pokemon game. You are a 10 to 12-year-old child. Something. You go into some weeds when you're not supposed to and get attacked by Pokemon, so you get a Pokemon to defend yourself. Though this time, it's not because a kindly old man helped you, but because you kinda maybe sorta borrowed a kindly old man's briefcase. Anyway, soon after that, in exchange for keeping the Pokemon, you are entrusted with the Pokédex and asked to, catch every single Pokemon in the region to fill it out for the Pokemon professor that has apparently never caught a single Pokemon in his life, because the damn dex is blank. You then go on a fantastical journey, collecting magical little monsters to fill out your dex, and also getting stronger with them so that you can take on the region's gym leaders and eventually become the champion. Sometime in between that, though, you fight a team of evildoers, this time Team Galactic, who want to do something to make the world a better place. They're really not very clear, and I'm a little disturbed if I'm being honest. But either way, you defeat them to save the world, and apparently that is somehow not the end game. No, it's the aforementioned championship. So, how is it, I guess, is probably what you're wondering. I'll probably do a full review later, but we'll go into the basics here. And basically, it's fine. It's fine. The graphics are a little weird, like they're the chibi style on the overworld, and then, full length when you get into battle. And I mean, I don't mind this per se. I actually really like the similar style in Link's Awakening. The problem is just sometimes they look a lot cheaper than they should. Like sometimes the character models, they'll look dandy, and other times it feels like textures are just kind of blending together and it looks awkward, and other times things like eyes will look like they're pasted on or something. It's very bizarre. Oh, and the fire effect on Ponyta, it doesn't look right. It just doesn't. Believe me. So yeah, the graphics are kinda, could be better, could be worse. It wasn't a bad idea, but it didn't go, super professional. As for the game itself, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little disappointed with how basic the remake is. There's not many changes. There's only 3 changes I can think of, honestly. The first is that HMs are kinda gone. You still have HMs, but they're controlled through an app on your Pokewatch. Pretty much once you unlock something, you'll get the move, and then if you use the move on the thing you want, like you want to cut down a tree, well, select cut, and a random Bidoof will show up and cut the tree for you. It's always Bidoof for me, whether I'm using Rock Smash or Cut. I'm not sure they didn't program other Pokemon in for this, or if the joke is that Bidoof and Babero are just the ones that you always make your HM slaves, so that's what's going to show up for these. But the point is, yeah, the HMs are there, but not really, because you don't need to just load one Pokemon up with it and just have that be one of your slots. Hell, I think in this game you needed like two Pokemon exclusively for HMs if you wanted to do everything. So that's very cool. I very much appreciate it. I like the way they did it in 7 better, where they actually, had a Pokemon show up and you'd ride around on it. Rock Smash, you run around on a Taurus to shoot through rocks. Surf was a Lapras. I don't know what Surf is in this. I hope it's not just another Bidoof, but still. You could use Stoutland as the item finder. And just stuff like that. Very cool. Princess carried by Machamp, very cool. But it is still better than just needing 2 full Pokemon slots on your team just to, interact with the environment. So that's very cool. The other thing they did was they expanded the underground a bit. In the underground, I just got there last night finally. You run around and you search for treasure. You can also make a secret base where you just kind of decorate it. I haven't gotten too into this, at least not the decorating part. But the improvement you can, hang on, I should probably talk about that. There are extra areas in the underground where you can find Pokemon and rather than the random encounters, they'll actually be walking around so you can see and choose which Pokemon you want to interact with and either fight and or catch, which is very cool. And you can mine statues out of walls, which you then decorate your base with, and from what I understand, although again I haven't gotten very much into it, if you put these in your base, it'll have an effect on the areas you can find underground, so maybe you'll find rarer and cool Pokemon. So I'm really looking forward into getting into that. The other thing that they changed is that the experience share is back, which it always was, but it's active from the start and you can't turn it off. I have no great love of grinding in these games. Well, I shouldn't say that. I do like grinding up Pokemon, but I don't feel the need to take more time than I need to, I should say. So I'm perfectly okay using the experience shares, but I do know some special rule sets, like I think most Nuzlockes, make it so that you're not allowed to use experience shares. So having it always on kind of screws over people who want to do, special challenges, which this really, doesn't affect me, but it really bothers me that they did not make this optional. I mean, why would you not give your players an option? So that one's actually a detractor, I would say. Oh, and here's something they added that I almost forgot about. Character customization. Right now, I just have a static outfit, but I believe I can make changes to my outfit later on. But starting out, they give you the option of 8 character choices. 4 male, 4 female. The standard one is just like what they had in the original game, pale skin, black hair. Then you have the option to do blonde hair, tan skin, or dark skin, which is kinda neat. I'll admit, initially, I was a little weirded out because these characters, since they were static, I always just associated a certain look with them, but I chose the blonde hair one, and it's not all that weird once you travel around a little bit. Dawn doesn't always need to just have one static appearance, though she was in almost 200 episodes of anime, so, it did have a lot of time to get hammered into our heads. But I'd say all the character options do look cute, and it's really nice that they added this improvement. Honestly, if they hadn't put it in, I might have been scratching my head, come to think of it. It is nice to be able to customize. I think they started doing that in Gen 6, and then they really expanded upon it in Gen 7. So, them including that option again was really cool. Some other life improvements, though, don't seem to have made it in from that. I mean, you don't seem to have any special way to EV train from what I can see so far. No super training and no Pokepelago for that. TMs are also one use again, which I always liked being able to use TMs over and over again when I want to say they did that in Gen 7 Sun and Moon. But I kinda thought maybe I was just being a little baby player. Because I'm thinking, this is more challenge. You have to actually think and strategically decide what to put your TMs on. But I was playing it with my brother Sam, who he's gotten into competitive a lot more than me, and he also did not like this. So, it's probably going to be a common thing that people would rather just TMs be multi-use. If you have an Ice Beam and you're trying to run a certain set with Ice Beam, you don't want to have to, pick the perfect Pokemon to put that Ice Beam on after all. So that's a little annoying, but these games weren't supposed to replace the competitive anyway, even though it would be nice if they did, because, Sword and Shield suck, or at least using Dynamax sucks. I hate Dynamax so much. And then the other thing that would have been a nice improvement is if they would have, like, from what I can tell so far, maybe post-game something will pop up, but it seems like only Pokemon that were available into Diamond and Pearl are available here. You can't get any Gem 5, 6, 7s, or 8s in this, which, you know, it would be nice if they included more than just the base roster. But at the same time, Game Freak isn't putting in, like, all the Pokemon in their freaking game, so how am I gonna blame a freaking spin-off? Let's see. Yeah, the other thing is, I'm not sure how hard this is going to be. That's the weird thing, because, you know, you would think, hey, they're not making you just, you know, waste slots with HM Pokemon, and they're also always giving you the experience share. Plus, it's a cute little graphic style, excuse me. It's a cute little graphic style, so clearly they're targeting children with this. So why would they make it hard? But this champion, Cynthia, does have a reputation as being like the hardest champion to, you know, knock down. And I've had a few really odd encounters so far. The first was, there was this one point where there was a trainer school, which you go there and you learn basic stuff. I talked to an old man outside and he said, "Oh, hey there, do you know a lot about Pokemon?" And I'm thinking, as many games as I played? Yes, I do know a lot. And then he said, "Oh, yes, I see you are quite knowledgeable. Well, there's a trainer school there that will teach you the basics, but if you don't need to know, then, you know, maybe it's better to skip. But hey, maybe you go in and get stronger anyway." And Sam seemed to think that I could fight my rival if I went in there, so I did, and there were two children, like, in the corner. And he said, "Oh, hey, they're probably there to, you know, be fought." So I go up and I talk to one of the children. And she says, "Hey, I just started battling Pokemon. Do you want to do a practice battle, see if I'm any good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure. I'm mostly just doing this for free experience. I'll fight you." So I throw out my Shinx, and she throws out an Abra. And Sam and I both immediately go, "Oh, I'm so sorry, child. Oh, I'm so sorry. You have an Abra. All it's gonna know is teleport. So you're just gonna keep on trying to use a move you can't actually use. It's not much better than Magikarp using Splash over and over again." And then, immediately, it uses Charge Beam. An electric, a special electric attack, and Abra is very fast and very special attack oriented. So he's using that on my Shinx, which resists it because it's electric, but at the same time, he's getting like a stage up in special attack each turn, so each time it's doing more and more damage. I think I had a team of like 5 or 6, and it chewed through 3 or 4 of my Pokemon before I finally brought her down. Then I go outside, I heal at the center, I come back, and I talk to the other kid, and we're both thinking, surely he cannot be as bad as the last one. Abra with the same setup. But I was a little more prepared, so I got through it a little bit easier. I think I, lost maybe 1, maybe 2 Pokemon on that, but it was still totally unexpected. Then there was my first rival fight, where my rival had chosen Turtwig, and he spent most of the battle doing withdrawal, so I just gradually plinked away at his health, and as I got near the end, I thought to myself, this is really easy so far, but if he uses a potion, I'm gonna have to fight him all over again, and I'm gonna be doing a lot less damage because of that withdrawal, raising his defense. I was not expecting my rival to set up on me, but luckily he did not use any healing items and I took him out, but it was still one of those, like, are you trolling me here? I'm in the beginning areas of a baby game and you're sending these really nasty curveballs at me. So I'm really not sure what to expect at the difficulty. Where I'm at now, I'm over-leveled, but they could still probably trip me up with something a little nasty, so I'm a little cautious right now, but I think I'll be fine. Anyway, overall my impressions of it are, it's fun, but it's fun because Gen 4 games were fun, if that makes sense. There's nothing really special about these games so far that make them really like, there's very little improvement here. I would have expected them to do a lot more with the remake of, like, what is it, a 10-year-old? No, it's probably like 15-year-old game. So it's a little disappointing. Like I said, it's fun, but I would have just about the same amount of fun playing my original copy of Diamond, or possibly even more fun if I picked up my copy of Platinum again. So it's a little disappointing, but I mean, I'll play through it, and I'll still have a good time, just not as good of a time as I was hoping. Anyway, I don't know how quickly I'll get through this because I started streaming it on YouTube over on the channel The Victory Tricksters, and because I'm doing it only when I'm streaming, I might do some grinding and some underground stuff in between, don't get me wrong, but like for the main story bit, since I'm only doing it while streaming, it might take me a little longer to get through this than it would otherwise. But that said, if you are interested in seeing what it's like, maybe just stop over sometime in the evening. I don't have a set schedule, but if you're feeling lonely, maybe pop on over and maybe I'll see ya. Either way, that'll do it for this week. I did play one other game, but I didn't get very far in it, so we're gonna cut it here. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Maybe subscribe if you enjoy this sort of thing, and come back next week where I'll probably talk about this a little bit more, unless I really make crappy progress.